Welcome. My name is Scott Key. I am a hypnotherapist here in Temecula, California. I just finished up with one of my clients, so I figured I'd take a few moments here to share some of the things I've learned over the years being a hypnotherapist. Today I'd like to talk about believing in an optimistic future. A lot of us tend to imagine things going as negatively as we can imagine them going. We focus on imagining all the problems that we're going to have in the future so that we can, I believe it's a defense mechanism for our mind. Our mind is trying to foresee all the negative things that could happen in the future so that it can think of ways to protect itself if that ever occurs. The problem is that it almost never goes how we imagine it going. And it hardly ever goes as negatively as we imagined it going. And even if we are to mentally prepare ourselves, try to come up with ways to defend ourselves in that situation, the situation doesn't necessarily present itself the way that we thought it would. And what this causes is a lot of overthinking for no reason. This is one of the biggest contributors of anxiety, is that people are so worked up in their mind of all these problems and foreseeing such a negative future that they ruminate on that all day. And when you ruminate on it all day, of course you're going to lower your energy levels, you're going to be more stressed and have more anxiety in your life. And by the time you even lack sleep and not eat properly because you're so worried about this situation, that by that time that situation actually comes, it can go worse than you expected it to, because you've pretty much destroyed your health before you even got to that situation. Imagine instead expecting things to go well, knowing that things will go well, having this visualization in your mind of how well that situation is going to go, and then expecting it to go that well. Maybe even better than you expected. A lot of times it can happen better than you expected it to. Having a trust that if something happens in the future that you need to defend yourself against, that your subconscious mind has everything it needs to know based on your past, all the stuff you learned from the past, to be able to defend itself in that situation. Trust that. And then you don't need to sit here and worry about things in the future. By worrying about stuff in the future, you're really causing so much anxiety in your life that you don't need. You'll find, if you can start to pay attention to your thoughts, and this is kind of how to combat this, is to pay attention to what your thoughts are during the day. Start to notice what you're thinking and start to defend yourself. If you start to think about things that aren't productive, that things are negative, that forecasting a negative future for yourself, when you hear yourself internally saying those things, start to combat that. Start to say, you need to stop thinking like that. You need to think more positively about the future. Have this internal conversation and start to change that belief. Start to change how you think. And you can change your subconscious mind through repetition. So what you're doing is, each and every time you catch yourself thinking those horrible thoughts of the future, start to catch them and immediately change those thoughts into positive thoughts. Seeing it go well. And you may be faking it in the beginning, and that's totally fine. In your mind, fake it, and just, even if you don't believe it's going to go that well, imagine it going perfectly, even better than you expected. And you'll notice that at least by the time you get to that situation, you have more energy. Because you've been thinking about how things are going to go well. You've got good sleep. All those negative things that happened to you, those things that caused you poor health and poor energy before you got into the situation by thinking negatively, now are going to assist you, because you're going to be going into every situation with tons of energy, feeling great, because you expect things to go well. And then start to also notice, a big part of this is noticing that things actually did go well. So expect that things are going to go well. Go to your situation, see how it turned out. Afterwards, reflect on it and say, how well did it go? And you'll likely find out it went much better than you expected it to go. That if things came up that you weren't aware of or weren't prepared for, subconsciously it just took over and helped you out, and you were able to defend yourself or whatever you needed to do in that situation. And that everything worked out fine. Everything works out usually better than we expect. And also reflect back and notice that it probably didn't happen if you were visualizing it going negatively, or you were in visualizing somebody saying something and you responding a certain way. Notice that afterwards, reflect back and notice that it normally doesn't ever happen how we thought it was going to happen. So all that thinking was just wasted energy. And that's kind of what this is about, wasting your energy on thoughts that are not productive, that are negative and life draining. Start to weed those out of your life, out of your mind. And you'll notice you have this greater space in your mind. Your mind, you have so much more you can think about, because on a productive scale, because your mind isn't so used up with all this negative thought. So that's my tip for you. If you'd like to work on yourself for this or any other self-improvement goals, I'm available via Skype or here in Temecula for hypnotherapy sessions, Temecula, California. My phone number is 951-501-9325. You can get a hold of me there, or you can email me. My email address is Scott, SCOTT, @submindtools.com. That's SUBMINDTOOLS.com. And I wish you success. And I'm going to be putting out videos like this if you'd like to see more. I should probably be doing this about weekly. That's kind of my goal, is to each week, either before or after a hypnotherapy session, to make one of these videos and put it out to help you guys. So subscribe and like. I would appreciate that. And see some more of these videos. So once again, I wish you success.